Hi guys, welcome to this session in Microsoft Visio. In this module, I want to show you how you can use Visio to create a PERT diagram and find a critical path. So on the screen you can see a photograph of what I'm going to recreate in Visio. So in these types of diagrams you have an event, which is this bit, and then an activity, and then an event and an activity. And in these numbers, basically, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s and 40s are just event numbers. And then what you've got here is the earliest event time and then the latest event time. And then this 0 is the float, which becomes the critical path. So if the float is 0, that is the critical path. So in this example, this is the critical path because this task, prep cups, can happen anytime during this 5-minute period. So it's got there a float of 4 minutes, so anytime it can happen, and then this dotted line just represents a dummy line to get back into the main flow. So these sort of shapes are not default in Visio, so we're going to have to recreate one of these shapes, and that's what I'm going to do on the next sheet. Now I've already done that, and I've got a stencil with some shapes in here you can see there. If you don't know how to create a stencil, it's basically more shapes, new stencil, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And then you drag your shape, whatever you do, onto that stencil, and it will be there for future use. So if I just close that, I don't want to save that, because I've got mine here, Steve Projects, and I've got a node. These are called nodes that I'm going to use for this diagram, but I need to recreate that. So if I just bring this one onto the screen, I'll just show you how I created it. That's the structure, if you like, of the node that I want. Now Visio does provide a PERT diagram as part of the scheduling package, and you get things like this, but I don't want to use this type of box. I want to use this circular system, so I'm just going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to recreate this. Now to get this I need a circle. Now I know for a fact if I go more shapes, general, in basic shapes, there is a circle. So I've just added that stencil to this template, and then I can bring a circle on. So there's the circle. I don't want a fill on that, no fill, but I want the line to be a bit fatter than that. The line can be blue, and the weight of that can be 1 1/4, 1.5, is it? Yeah. So that's the circle I want. Now I need these diagonal lines, and I'm going to use a line tool up here to do that. So you get these little glue points coming straight through the middle to the other side, glue it on, and the same at the top, just go straight through the middle, glue it on. Take the line tool off, back to the pointer tool, highlight that circle, and then I want to group that to make it all one thing. So now that's all one thing. Now I need to do these text boxes. So a text box is a text tool, so you just draw a text box in the circle. Just come back to pointer, text there. Now you will have to put some text in there, so I'm just going to put 10. Now that's very small, so just go back to the pointer tool. I want that to be bold, and I want that to be black. Now you can make that a bit bigger and adjust the box if you want. If I go for 10 point, that's bigger than that even. Let's go for 12 point. 12 point looks okay. Then I'm just going to do Control D, Control D, Control D 3 times just to get 3 more text boxes, and just position these into these segments like so. That's lined up. Looks pretty good. Then I'm going to group all of those so it's all grouped again. So now it's all one shape. And then I can leave that 10. They usually start it with 10 and go 20, 30 and so on like that, but these all need to be 0, so I just need to change that to 0, and that to 0, and that to 0. So that's how you create the shape. So I'm happy with that. If you go back to mine, and then to add it to your stencil, so if you've just got a new stencil, you just click on it and move it into the stencil. I'll just call this test because I've already got one that I'm going to use. So test 22, that'll do. Then you know which ones are which. So some of these are a bit old. So now if I just delete this one, the process to do your project is as follows. You bring your first position onto your screen, and then you can either put the connector tool on now and then it will automatically connect to it, but sometimes that starts going all over the place, but I'll do that and you will have to correct it afterwards. So the connector tool's on. So that's the first event. Now I want a second event, and in between there needs to be an activity. So the activity is where you put the text. So I'll put a text box in there, and the first activity is fill the kettle, or fill. And you need to put the time in there. So fill 1 minute. Now if I just knock that back off, and let's make that bold as well. Or I can make everything bold at the end and black. So that's 1 minute. So the way this works is, this box here is the earliest event time, so that is going to be 1 minute, so I need to put 1 in there. So just double click on that, get rid of that 1, so that's 1 minute. So that first thing takes 1 minute. Fill kettle. So now I need to do another mode, which is going to be boil the kettle. I'm going to go over one page here, but it doesn't matter for this. So this is going to be boil. I didn't have the connector tool on, so I can put it on now. Snap it in place. Text box. Above that, I don't want the text box on the line, so it's just going to be boil, and that's going to be 5 mins. 5 min. 5 min. Back onto the pointer tool. Now while that's happening, so that's now 1 plus 5, so this needs to be a 6. 6. So that's took 6 minutes so far. I'll change the font on this later on. But now, while it's boiling, this is where you can have other things going on. So I want a shape to come out of this shape and then reconnect back into there. I haven't numbered these, so this needs to be 20. And then I'll just drag another shape on. Push it up there a bit. Connect it up. It just connects straight up. And I want it to come straight down back into there, and this one needs to be a dotted line because it has no time. So if I just go to line, dashes, pick these ones, I'll do that a bit thicker. Actually the lines all need to be a bit thicker, so I'll put that to 1.5. I'll change this one as well while I'm at it. 1.5, like so. And that one, I don't think I did that one either. 1.5. So if you want, you can add these sort of things to your stencil, so you don't have to keep doing this sort of thing I'm doing now. So this is going to be 30. So the task or the activity for this one is going to be prep cups. So just put a text box there, and it's going to take 1 minute. Prep cups 1 min. So that can happen at any time. So it's just going to be 1 minute. So this is going to be a 2. I need to take that off. This is going to be a 2. 1 there, look. 2. And we'll fill this other section in, this other segment in, when we're coming back down to find the latest event time. So far so good. Now this needs a little text box to explain it. There's no time allocated to this, so just put that down there. There's no time. No time. That's just a dummy connector. Back to this one. So the next one, so we're boiling it. Now we need to pour the water. So we can't pour the water until we've done this. So this is why that's like that. So bring another node on, connect it up, and then the text box says pour water. Text, pour water, and pour is just 1 minute. Pour 1 min. So that's 6, and then this needs to be 7, so you add that up, 7, and that's the next one. So that's 30, this is 40, number in 40, and this is be 50. 50. So the next one after you've poured the water is just to finish it off with drink. Just go push another one on. I'm going to the second page here, connect it up, and then let's just bring this one down so it's lined up. I didn't connect that properly. So it's lined up. So this is 60, 60, and drink is going to be 5 minutes. So I just need to make a bit more space. and I'll just change the page layout, go into layout and just have it as one page. Okay, so we're continuous page there. Right, so that's going to be drink, text box to drink, and it's going to be 5 minutes to drink. So drink tea 5 min. Take the connector text box off. So 5 min 7 and 5 is 12, so that's 12 minutes. This whole process is 12 minutes. So now you've got that, what you need to do now is work out the float. So you start off at the end, that's 12 minutes, and then you take off this duration here, so that's going to be 7, and then you've got to take these two from each other, so 7 from 7 is 0, so you're coming back again, that's 1 minute, so that's going to be 6 from 6 is 0, and then we've got this little arrow here where there's no time, but it's still 6, so we're going back and we put 6 on there, no time, 6. You take 2 from 6, it gives you 4, so that's your float. 4. You've got 4 minutes float time, so the whole task is 5 minutes, it can go on any time during that task. So then we're coming back from here, we've got to take 5 minutes off this 6, which gives us 1, so that's 0 again, 1 from 1 is 0, and then we're back to the beginning. So you can see all the zeros, that is your critical path. Now this is a very simplistic diagram, I can assure you they get more complicated than this, but this is basically how you do it. You build it up from left to right with the times, and then you come back taking the times off to find out where the critical path is in your project plan. Now if I put some titles on this one, if I go to design and just put borders on, it sits in the background. Now you can see there I've got a problem, I'll just sort that out in a minute, but the background, if I just go making tea, that's the title, and then go back to page 2. Now I need to, you can't actually click on that because it's in the background. If I just do Control A, should be able to move that down so it all fits nice and neat. Now I said I need to make everything bold and black, so if I do Control A again, if I go back home, everything wants to be bold and everything wants to be black, so it just stands out a bit better. So there is your project plan, if you like. So hopefully that was of use. If it's new to you, that's how you do it. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.